Okay, so sometimes while visiting a website, we see a notification, like if we subscribe to some websites, you know, that there is sometimes a notification. For example, you are subscribed, it pops up. So that's what we'll see in this lecture. This lecture will see how to create an alert box for our website. You write script and then you make an alert box. You run a statement of hello everyone. So let's see how it works. Focus, pay attention to what I'm doing. So you can see an alert box of hello everyone. It will show until I click on OK. This will keep showing if you refresh it. So this is how it works. This is how the alert box works basically. Now if I give a condition to this, let's say create a variable var x and assign a value, let's say 20, create one more variable and assign a value of 30. So create if else statement and give a condition of, let's say, if x is less than y, print this alert box as your value is correct and save it. So can you see what I'm doing? It's showing this alert box. All right, now create one more alert box as your value is not correct and save it, but it's still showing the alert box of your value is correct. If I change the condition that x is greater than y, then this alert box will display. Alright, so in this way the alert box works. In our upcoming lectures, while studying the functionalities, we'll create an alert box for a specific value. Alright, let's see how this works in the next lecture. And now on to the next lecture. Alright, so in this lecture we'll see how to create a confirm box, just like we did with the alert box. So here we ask a question for the user. So I'll create a variable a and assign a value and use the confirm box, insert a string in it. Okay, so let's say, are you human? Close and save it. Can you see this? It's displaying a confirm box. Now create an if else condition, print the value of a inside of this. So give a condition and an alert of thanks, save and run it, and here you go. You can see the output. All right, so make another value, give it OK. Now run it, and if I click on cancel, it will alert it's OK. If I click on OK, it alerts the user with the message thanks. As you can see, we used alert boxes to display a certain message on the screen. Alright, so basically that's how it works. And now on to the next lecture. Alright, so we've already discussed the alert box and the confirm box. In the alert box we give an alert or notification type, and with the confirm box we take the confirmation from the user. Alright, so now we'll talk about the prompt box. It's used to take a value from the user and print it. Using a prompt box, as you can see in front of you. So here you write something, for example, let's write like meta brains and save it. I want to perform an action on the basis of prompt, so cut this, take a value in variable, make a variable a and assign to a. Alright, so use the document.write and assign the variable a, save it. Now I'll refresh this, I write hello, it will print hello, and here you go. In this way we can print the values. Okay, so let's now increase some functionalities. We'll use the if else if statement in this, copy this and paste it here, save it. Okay, so just change it as first, second, third pass and save it. And now you can see that there is no need to assign a value like for 40. Yeah, it is a basically. So I want to do this on my website rather than writing as an a value again and again. So to do this, I'll make a prompt box. I'll write enter the value in it. I save it. So pay attention to what I'm doing. It's showing the prompt box. Write your value in this. For example, 45. It will show the third one. So refresh it again and give it the value of, let's say, 20. it will display pass. So for 80, it will show the first, and that's pretty much it. This is how you can add a functionality in your prompt box. Okay, and now on to the next lecture. Previously, we've discussed about loops, HTML tags, conditions, switch statements, and so on in JavaScript. Okay, now we'll move towards more advanced topics. So, let's see how to use functions in JavaScript. Alright, so let's take an example and see how all of this works. So I've created 3 statements of document.write. We've covered all the basic properties of JavaScript, including history, operators, and all statements. Now, we'll see how to use functions. Function is a quite advanced topic in JavaScript. So for example, these are 3 statements of document.write, and we've written a code. So to print these statements, we have to use the document.write code again and assign a variable. And okay, so now it works. With the statements, we can write small codes and lines, but with the functions, we can make a whole function and can perform a whole tasks. Alright, so to create a function, first of all, we need to write the function statement, and assign a name to it. So for example, I will assign ABC, but will not assign parameters for now. Okay, so I save it. In this section, you can write your statements. I will use the document.write statement here and MetaBrains in it and save it. And here you go, you can see the output. It's not printing my value because in function the procedure is different. With functions the procedure is quite different. So here you are defining the function. Now call the function, write the name of the function ABC and save it. As you can see, it's printing MetaBrains. This part is called function definition, and this is the calling of function. Okay, so these are 2 important parts when it comes to function. We have on one side the function definition, and on the other side the calling of the function. Alright, so if you want to print this again and again, copy this and paste it. Use the break tag for the space. Like if you want to add some space, use the break tag. Use one more function, name it as MetaBrains. Okay, so I'm not giving parameters. We'll give parameters later on. Copy the document.write statement and write JavaScript in it. So to print this, go to the calling of the function and write the name of the function. It will print MetaBrains, so this will print wherever you are calling the function. And yeah, so in this way you can create functions in JavaScript. Basically that's how it works. In the upcoming lectures, we'll see how to give parameters to a function. Alright, so that was it for this lecture, and now on to the next one. Alright, so in the previous lecture we discussed about functions, syntax, and their uses in JavaScript. Now we'll see the role of parameters in a function. Okay, so write first and last, use the concatenation and call the parameters. Okay, so write first, concatenation, and last. Alright, so it's showing an error, so we can correct this by removing the comma, and then we save it. And as you can see, it prints MetaBrains when I'm giving the parameters, but they are undefined. Okay, so go to the calling function and assign a value to first and the last parameters. Okay, so use the double quotation and write hello, double quotation, write hello and save it. And here you go, we have our output. So it's showing MetaBrains and hello world. If you want to add a space, simply use the concatenation in order to concatenate the 5 things together, like the MetaBrains, the space, the hello, the space, and the word. So we need to use the concatenation and then we save it. Okay, if you want to print A by default, Like if you want to print the default value automatically, like for this, like you see in front of you, use the default value. For example, Munib here and Sajad now. It's not displaying perfectly, so I'll just remove these values for now and it will show you the default values. Alright, so hope it's clear for you, and now on to the next lecture. Previously, we learned about functions and how to give parameters to a function. Now, we'll move to a more advanced level and use the function with a return value. This basically means that the function will have a value. It will return a value to us. So that's pretty much it. Like the function will have a certain value according to the parameters that we give it. Okay, so here I'll create and call a function and name a function. So name, and I give it the parameter as first and last. I'll save it. Now I'll use the document.write and print the function as hello. I assign the value here, meta, and here brains. Now I create a variable named x and assign the first and last value. I use the concatenation for space. I use last here. I save it. Okay, so to print this value, I write the function name and print value, example hello world, and here you go, as you can see in front of you. So it is not printing the value because I've not used the return function. That is why. So I'll use the return function and the x variable in return and save it. Okay, so please focus on this. The concept is difficult. When I assigned the values first meta and last brain, I gave it two values of hello and word. The values are stored here and this value is stored in a function. Okay, so to make a function in a variable, you cut this, you write the variable here and assign a value and paste it. To write this function, use document.write and save it. It will print this. Okay, so first create a function, use a variable, call the function, but it will not print it because the return is not used. Like we didn't use return. Okay, so make a variable and use the return function. Alright, so it will print when we will return the value to a function. Alright, so now call the variable using document.write. Let's have another example. So comment this function and create a new function. Give it a name as add. Assign the name as math, chemistry, and physics. Put the brackets. Make a variable y. Write these parameters. So yeah, be careful. JavaScript is case sensitive. So okay, go here. Return the value of y. Write the function variable and add the numbers using the add function. For example, 40, 50, and 60. Now save it. Print this using the document.write, and can you see the output in front of you? It's returning 50. Okay, now use this chemistry here. Alright, so this is showing an error because I've not used the concatenation here. So I'll use the plus for addition. I save it, and here you go, it will show you the addition. Okay, so let's create one more function for their division. Use function and name it as percentage. Give the parameter total. Okay, so now create the variable z and write that z is equal to use the total function and divide it by 300 and multiply it with 100, so it will show you the percentage. Here I'll not use the return, so use the document.write and write z. It is not showing the result because I've not called my function. Alright, so go and call the function and print the sum value. Okay, so as you can see, it's giving a result. Cancel the sum function. Alright, so we get the result of 80. So as you can see, we first have the addition, then by calling the function, we get the sum. Alright, so you can change the value as you wish. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this lecture. And now on to the next one.